So, I'm gonna do a little bit of a conversation. It's gonna be different than normal. I don't feel like setting up the tripod or trying to figure things out. I'm really hot. I'm tired. I did some tutoring today for Canadian citizenship test prep, and I did abstract art class right after that. It was their second session. That went really well. But anyway, this is art related, but I'm just explaining why I'm tired and I'm sweaty and hot, and I'm a mess, and I don't feel like doing anything extra right now. But I did want to talk about this. So I'm having this feeling of like artist imposter syndrome. And I talked about imposter syndrome once before, and that was basically related to like my car and how I didn't feel like I deserved my car. And at that time, like when I purchased the car, it would have been 4 years old, and that was like the newest vehicle I've ever had in my life. And now that car is 10 years old. And I'm a little more used to it now. But when I first got it, I was like, this is crazy. Like, how do I have a car this new? Like, this is bananas. Like, who am I? Like, I felt a little bit of that recently with going to the Y, like the YMCA is on the west side. I live on the west side now too, and that feels weird sometimes, like to live there, in the area that I live in specifically. And, yeah. But yeah, going to the YMCA to like play basketball and swim and do stuff, I've just been like, it just feels weird. I'm like, I don't know how to explain it. It just feels like this is not for me. Like, I feel like I should be in some really grungy place trying to exercise that. I don't know. It's nice. It's convenient. It feels good, but it feels like too good. So I'm just like, this isn't for me. Like, I don't belong in this space. And I think part of that is like cultural, just like racism and just like how I grew up, like economically, and like class stuff gets in there. And I'm not like in a great financial situation now, not at all. But yeah, this is way different. But I just wanted to acknowledge, I've talked about this before in that context with the car, and the YMCA thing is really like an extension of that feeling. But the artist imposter syndrome thing, that's new, and I don't remember ever feeling like this before. But 2 days ago it started because I was working on this piece. And it was just so smooth and so easy. And I just grabbed this, and then I grabbed that, and then I did this, and then I did that. And like, I just wasn't thinking about anything at all. And I didn't have to process like, well, what do I do now? Like, let's take a break. And like, oh, that's not really working. Like, everything just works. And I don't know, like, I can't tell, honestly. And this is one of those weird things as an artist, because like, there are things that like, it's not up to interpretation. It's not as as subjective as people think. Like, or now I'm getting objective and subject. No, yeah. Like, there are things with art, visual art or other art, but even with visual art that some people have a hard time wrapping their head around, even abstract work, that is objectively good and objectively not good, or objectively complete or incomplete, or makes sense or doesn't make sense. There are things that are just objectively, you can say that. You can say that objectively this is better or not as good or whatever. And people have a hard time with that. But there definitely are things that you could say about art that are objectively better than other things. And I think that recently, in the past year or so, I have started opening up a lot more. I think part of it is just working with abstract for so long, and like now I'm introducing like collage-y bits and disrupting abstract pieces. Like, they're not even, I don't even know what they are. They're collages to me now. And doing that a lot more frequently in the recent couple months, and that has been really enjoyable to me. I've really liked it, and I think that I don't know. I don't know if I'm hitting a stride or not, but things just, this piece specifically, I was like, this was too easy. Something's wrong here. I was like, this is way too easy. And it just was like, it just didn't give me any grief. Like, I didn't feel like, well, yeah, I need to fit. Like, it's not even about grief. It's about just like reworking or trying to resolve the problem. And I was like, there's no problem to resolve. Like, I'm just doing stuff, and everything that I do is good. Like, and I don't know if that's like confidence in my art practice, or just with specific types of art, or I'm just like, I don't care. Like everything I do is great because I did it. Like, and not in like, oh, that's hard to say. And then you follow it up with like, well, not in like some weird cocky elitist, like I'm the best arrogant way. But I think like there's a certain confidence, but not even just the confidence. Like I just don't, like I can't tell. Okay, I can't tell if I'm just like getting that good. That sounds so ridiculous. With certain parts of my art practice that like, yeah, that comes easy and that's a good feeling. It's not boring, and I'm very interested still. It's not formulaic. It's just like I know what to do. I know how to solve a problem. I know how to not even create a problem. Like I know how to just, yeah, this and then this, and now I'm doing this and over here, and okay, I'm good. I'm done. I'll show you what I've been working on. So, or that's done now. But this is kind of what happened. So there's this like metal sheet, like a thin metal sheet thing. I don't know what it is. I don't know what's going on with it. But yeah, there's that. And I had this piece of canvas. So I put that on there. I put on this, I guess I put the duct tape on first. Then I put the canvas strip there on the right. And then I like found a photo that I wanted to use. And then I had like spray paint underneath. And then I had some oil pastel that was going on the canvas. And then whatever, I just like started doing stuff, and it took 3 days, but like a total of probably a half an hour, like in those 3 days to do this. And I feel really good about it. Part of it is because the purpose is for like a power box, like a public art thing. But just as a piece by itself anyway, I'm like, this is done. This is good. This is amazing. This not. I have a hard time saying it's amazing. It is complete. It feels good. I like it, and it feels resolved and good art. That's what this feels like to me, and that was just really interesting because it happened so quickly. Like I felt it during the first session. I was like, this is coming really easy. Part of this, I think, is due to cannabis use. The 3 different times that I worked on this, I was completely sober. There was no cannabis use involved at all. But this is one of those things that I've talked about, is that cannabis use, especially during art making, has given me an ability to let go a little more, to be more open, to just enjoy the act of creation. And it's not like everything, like I always know, like I don't know if this is done or not. I've got to come back the next day, be sober, take pictures, whatever, figure out if it's done. Sometimes it is, sometimes it's not. But even if I was sober, that's the case. Sometimes I think something's awesome, I'm riding on this high, and I'm like, that's not done. That's not done at all. Why did I think that was done? It's not. So the thing is that like under the influence of cannabis while I do art, I'm just much more inhibited. Like I just do whatever I feel. I don't think. I go even more into feeling and less thinking, and just do, and then I stop doing. But that's translated even to sober times of like, hey, I'm just doing stuff and I can fix it, and I'm confident in my ability to do that, and I'm just trying things. Everything is an experiment always. And I know how to experiment generally. Every once in a while I run into a snag with experimenting with like a material or a medium that I haven't used, and I kind of mess things up because every time that I've done that recently, I guess it's twice, it's because the medium doesn't dry. The glycerin is one, and then this other paint that just like doesn't dry, and that's a problem. And that's just from not doing enough research or whatever, believing people when they're like, yeah, that's not going to dry unless you have this part of the thing. And I'm like, you don't know what you're talking about. That's a whole other thing. But anyway, I've talked about it in the vlog before. I have this beautiful painting that I can't ship because it won't dry. Anyway, it just felt too easy. And not easy in a boring way, but it just felt like that was really easy. That felt really nice. It felt good. I felt confident. I felt, But then part of me was like, is that just because cannabis use has led me to just not care the way I used to? Like, that thing of like, it's good because I made it. And I don't mean me because I'm the best. I just mean like, anything anyone makes is good. But I'm not thinking about it that way. I'm thinking about me. Like, no, I made it, so it's good. Like, it's me doing a thing. I'm doing it. That's all that I'm supposed to be doing is doing, and I'm doing. So it's good. I don't know if it's part that or part of like, no, you just hit a stride and you, again, maybe it's related to cannabis use, maybe not. of just like that being way more open, being more uninhibited, like just being able to just process, just that's it. And be like, yeah, that worked. That was good. I'm really happy with this. This is nice. I don't need to push it any further. I did it. I like it. It's wonderful. I think it's a very successful piece. It makes sense. Like whatever, however you want to word it, it's finished and I'm content with it. I think that I've been doing a lot of stuff that I haven't done before. And part of that is like, when you've got a history of like the majority of like 80% of your art career is using like paint in a certain way, and not the same, but like just using paint and almost nothing else. And then you start opening that up to like these collage things, and I'm like, not using canvas, not using a brush. I've got, oil pastels, drawing materials on there now, photos that I'm affixing to it. I've used duct tape before a little bit here and there with abstract work before, but like just like affixing different materials, whatever, like I'm really enjoying it and I'm liking the product. I'm liking the end result. But it was just this thing of like, enjoyment doesn't mean that it's good. And I compare this to like someone who's not good at singing, me. I'm not good at singing, but if I'm like really, really into a song and I'm just singing my heart out, I think that I sound amazing, but I don't. It's just because I'm so passionate about what I'm singing, it makes me think that I sound really good right now, but I don't at all. And I think sometimes that's why I always have to come back the next day or the next session to go look at a painting or an art piece and be like, oh yeah, that's not done, because I'm not in the same headspace or the same heart space. And I'm thinking like, in the moment, I'm just on fire for art sometimes. I'm like, art is the best thing in the world. I'm the best thing in the world. I'm the best artist that ever lived. Art is the best. I love it. It's saved my life, whatever. And I'm just in this passionate space. And I'm like, art is the best thing it's a magical universe. I'm practicing alchemy. I'm a magician. I'm a wizard. And just like, I'm in this like art god space that I call it. And it feels so good. And then the next day, I'm just like, yeah, that's not done. I thought it was done. It's not done. But I know that about myself, so it's fine. But like, it's just coming so easy sometimes now, including this piece most recently, that I'm just like, is that because I don't want to call it a lowering of standards, but I'm like, have I just transcended beyond the point of good and bad? And it's just like, no, I'm just doing, and doing equals good. Like doing equals you have done something good because you are doing something. And it can't be judged through this perspective lens that I used to judge things by. And I was talking with a friend about this, and I was thinking like, oh, maybe my skill hasn't changed. My perspective has changed. But in the realm of art, especially abstract art, perspective is the skill, or perspective is all you have. So like the fact that my perspective has changed, I think that is for sure. My perspective on art and my art making has changed. Therefore, how I view and judge and critique and push my art is different. And again, maybe contributed to cannabis use, maybe not. Maybe just like natural evolution of my art making process, that maybe this is my 10,000 hours that I just hit. I don't know. I've been making art for a long time. I don't know, like 16, man, that's banana. Like, that's way longer than I think. If I really think about it, it's like 17 years that I can really think that like I've been making art. And it started out really slow for the first like maybe 3 years, just really slow. And then just like, yeah. And I've had periods where I wasn't making much and periods where I've been incredibly prolific. But maybe that's the 10,000 hours. Maybe that's what that is. It's just like, yeah, you've done it. You're the master now. I don't know. And again, that's not in like a arrogant, cocky, braggadocious way, but it is this thing with confidence. I feel like I'm confident in very few things. Art is one thing I think I've been confident in now for I don't know how many years, but I feel really confident in it. And even when, as a whole, I feel confidence, there are times where I have doubts. This is a doubt, but it's a doubt because it feels so good and so easy, and like I feel like I haven't gotten used to it yet. Maybe that's what it is. And it's kind of like if someone gave me, that's the thing, when I bought that car, I had my teaching contract. No, I didn't. I didn't have it yet. Did I? No, I didn't. I didn't have my teaching contract yet, but I had it shortly after, and the payments weren't whatever. Anyway, the thing is that I had this car, and I was like, I don't deserve this car. I can't afford this car. Who the hell am I to have this car? We're talking about a Volkswagen Jetta. We're talking about a 2013 Volkswagen Jetta, like the lowest tier possible. Nothing crazy, magically or special, but I love it. I appreciate it. There's things that it doesn't fit my lifestyle anymore because mountain biking and stuff. But I mean, like, man, that sunroof makes me so happy. It's made me happy for 7 years. Like, I love it. I enjoy it. There's things I really enjoy about my vehicle. And it's weird to have that. It's like weird to feel like you deserve a thing or like you're enjoying a thing. And it feels weird for me to be confident in a thing. Even though I say like I'm confident as an artist, I have to go to the extreme of like making fun of my own confidence by being like overly braggadocious because that's fun for me, but it's also the only way that I can like actually acknowledge that I feel confident about it is by like overstepping to make it into humor in order to digest, no, you're good at this thing. And like that's a whole self-confidence issue, right? But like again, right now I'm having this feeling where I'm like, is this any good? Is this, you know what I mean? This is so not what I do, like, or not what I have done in the past. It's what I do now. It's part of I made it, so I do it, right? But it's just like this is a thing that I made, and I enjoy it, and I think that it's quite good. I'm content with it. It feels complete. It didn't give me any trouble. It was easy, and that's weird. In the realm of art, if something's easy, I think culturally we're also just like, that's not a good sign. And another artist friend I was talking to was just like, yo, like I think they started to assume that I was bored or that I needed to push myself in a different direction. I'm like, this is a new direction. I'm not bored. I'm very interested in what I'm doing. I don't need to change it up. It just was easy, and that felt weird. Because, like, I think that if I did a couple of these if I did this again right away, I might feel like, okay, this isn't interesting anymore. I know how to do it. It's too easy. It's too easy. Like, the thing, easy and too easy. But also, like, it's boring. It's too easy. It's not interesting. It became a formula, and I don't want to do that. And so, like, I don't know where I'm going to end up, which is really exciting and nice to, like, not feel trapped in a thing. Because there were years where I felt like, yeah, my process of making an abstract painting is very similar to the way it was before. And I don't even work abstractly as much as I used to because now these collage elements are coming in here. Anyway, that's where I'm at. And I don't want to overthink it, but I did want to talk about it and then just leave it alone. Because I am feeling that. I'm having this thing of like, this is easy. It's not supposed to be easy. Is it supposed to be? Is it okay? Is it allowed? Is art allowed to be easy? I don't know. Like, why not? Is that the difference between being a technician and being an artist? Being a designer, being an artist? And it's like if design work is like a technical ability and skill and it's just you're a technician, is that art? To me, this is art. There's purpose behind it. There is meaning. There is history involved in this. Like there is concept in this piece. It is not just design work. But again, that part about like, yeah, I know what I'm doing. I didn't have a plan. I just started doing. I don't know. I don't know anything. I know. It feels so like, man, this is getting me involved in this whole other thing about self-confidence. Because I was going to say, I do know one thing. I know that I'm an artist. I do. I feel that. But it feels weird to say that because it feels like I shouldn't be allowed to feel or think or express that I'm an artist and that alone, because I respect that so much. And I have called myself an artist before in private to people, like, because I think they get it. But it always feels like, man, you're some kind of dink. Like, who are you? An artist? Who are you? I feel it though, but it's like, how do you express that to people without coming off as just like pompous, right? Like,